This is John Clayton standing in front of a classic World War II aircraft called a B-17. This particular B-17 is called Aluminum Overcast, and she is from the EAA based back in the eastern United States. In just a few moments we'll be flying aboard this wonderful airplane, and we'll be going with Lieutenant Wes Koss, who was shot down in World War II on his 21st mission. We'll hear some of the things that he has to say about this wonderful aircraft, so let Wes Koss tell you about the B-17. We're down here at Torrance Airport with Captain Wes Koss, actually Lieutenant Wes Koss, who was a pilot of a B-17 in World War II Stardust. But an interesting thing for people that don't know this window up here that you see with a machine gun, it's covered, but in World War II that was, can you tell us?
Why, it was open. There was a sliding door that you open, and it was completely open to the outside air.
Very, very cold, right?
Yeah, we're very, very cold, and the gun was aimed out of a rack just behind the window, and the gunner stood right where you can see the gun now, and did his shooting, and he was cold, very cold.
For people who want to know such things, what is the caliber of that gun?
That's a 50 caliber machine gun. They were all 50 caliber machine guns on this airplane.
And when you were shot down, these engines here on the right-hand side of the aircraft, just tell us what happened. The aircraft on the other side?
Both engines on the other side were so badly damaged that they weren't usable. This engine, number 3, and number 4 were still okay until the third attack by two Me-109s. They hit the underside of the airplane. They damaged this engine to the point where the supercharger, which is back there, was so badly damaged that it quit functioning. This reduced the power on this engine to 1/3 of full power. So now it was down to one engine, a good one, and one that had 1/3, and 2 that were inoperative. Well, that's when I rang the bailout bell, figuring that this was a no-win situation.
Did you ever think when you were flying that time would come when people would fly this and pay to go aboard?
No way. No way. I was very happy to be paid to fly it, and there's no way that I ever thought that the old bird would be taking people for a ride, a nostalgic ride, for pay. I think it's wonderful because it's a terrific experience for anyone that has any idea what flying a heavy bomber was like in World War II.
What memories does it bring back to you standing here looking at this wonderful bird?
Well, it's not as big as I thought it was.
Not as big? To me, it looks bigger.
Well, you know, I've flown so many bigger airplanes that when I first started flying it, I thought it was so large and so big, and now I realize that it's still a very big, wonderful airplane, but it's a little smaller than I had remembered it.
But now you ended your flying career with Continental Airlines, so when you say a smaller airplane, you flew the DC-10 and the 747.
Yes, both airplanes, and you could walk around on them without bumping your head, let me put it that way.
What is, standing here and looking at this classic airplane and the B-17s, the Flying Fortress, were a classic airplane, what sort of memories does that bring back to you?
Well, they're bittersweet memories in a way because I lost my airplane, and most of my crew were POWs. Myself and one other man were able to escape from enemy territory, but the truth is that the memories are, it was a wonderful airplane in combat. It was very well defended. It had, you had every chance to survive the fighter attack if you weren't hit in a vulnerable place.
One of the interesting things about a flying fortress, when the Luftwaffe realized what the most advantageous thing was to attack the flying fortresses, it was the nose. So perhaps, Lieutenant Koss, you could tell our viewers the significance of these guns in the front.
Well, the significance was that this is a late modification or a late model B-17, and it does have the chin turret here, which means that they can, the bombardier could protect the front part of the airplane. But the earlier airplanes, like my airplane Stardust, did not have the chin turret and did not have the whiskers up there that allowed the gunner to depress the gun more to a forward attitude.
The whiskers being that gun right up there?
That one.
Okay.
That gun up there was not there. The gun was back in that window there. And the navigator could use it, but he could only move it just so far forward. So an excellent attack position was 1130, almost level, in a position where the ball turret gunner could probably not hit him and come in about 11:30 or 12 o'clock or 12:30. And that's where I was hit. Two attacks from 11:30 position, and the third attack got the underside of the right wing and the number 3 engine.
When the Luftwaffe realized the new fortresses had guns in the front like that, did it make any difference to their attacks?
Oh, I'm absolutely certain it did. I think they tried to find another spot that was a little softer, and I'm not sure where that was.
As a kid growing up in London in World War II, I was only very small at the time, but I remember seeing pictures of B-17s coming back to England. I mean, half their tail was shot out and the midsection was shot out and maybe only, 2 engines. She was an amazing airplane in terms of flying ability.
Oh, it really was. If you had some engines going, you could bring it back practically shredded. I mean, it was a wonderful airplane and durability. It had to have some power on it, though, to get the pieces back.
I guess finally you made it back to England eventually after crossing the Pyrenees. And then I guess the U.S. Air Force, or the U.S. Air Corps it was called at that time, wanted you to go around and tell various air bases about how to escape. But you weren't allowed to tell everything, is that right?
Well, no, we couldn't go into details, but we could certainly give them ideas about how they could facilitate their own escape by using their head. And frankly, if man could stay free from capture for 48 hours, his chances were very good of being able to escape. That was the gist of it, and then we told them about wearing proper shoes and how to contact people and all that sort of thing. So yes, I did. I went from airbase to airbase in the 8th Air Force with a group lecturing about escape and evasion.
I know that this is old hat to you, but for me, I'm really, really excited that in a few moments we'll be flying in this bird. Even though you flew the plane, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but are you just a tiny little bit excited?
I'm pretty excited, sure. I love to fly, and I can't think of anything I'd rather do than flying a B-17 today.
I've flown in a lot of aircraft in my life, but this is the most thrilling flight of my entire life. Wow! Woo! That was without doubt the most exciting, the most wonderful 10 minutes of my entire life in aviation. What an experience, what a thrill. I hope you can do it too someday. I've been on literally hundreds of flights all over the world, and I've flown on all kinds of different aircraft, but this was the most exciting, incredible, amazing flight that I've ever been on in my life, the most incredible 10 minutes of my life. Wes Coss, I know that you're a veteran of all these things, but how did you feel flying on this great bird?
Well, it was really nostalgic, and riding in the cockpit, I could watch the motions of the pilot and co-pilot and the controls, and I felt very much at home, frankly.
My wife said that when we came in for a landing, you knew exactly where to touch down.
Well, I felt very comfortable. I felt that as if I was in the seat, I could have made a good landing, frankly. Maybe I'm fooling myself, but I felt comfortable, and I think it would have been a good one. And it was.
A great landing. As I said, this is one of the most incredible flights I've ever been on, and for more adventures and exciting things to see and do around the peninsula, stay with me, John Clayton. Until next time, so long.